Hello, this is Alert Day Trading. The purpose of this video, the videos I make, is to journal my trades, notice any mistakes I'm making, see if there's any corrections I can be making. If you can learn from any of that information, that's definitely a positive. So today I took 3 trades, and the first trade I took was KR. So I noticed KR moving. And this one was kind of an experience for me just because every time I was updating my orders, I think something was going on with the platform I use. It ended up being a winning trade anyway, but I did not make as much as I would have if either the way I was inputting the trades wasn't correct or the trade platform just wasn't accepting the orders. I think there was just the way the stock was moving was really affecting my orders. So here's the entry right here. As you can see, it was moving a lot, and I waited for the pullback, and I bought in right above this candle, and we went all the way from $41 to almost $43. So it's about a $2 move, and I had an order at $42.97. And it did not trigger. So I would have sold pretty much right at the highs, but it didn't work out. I ended up selling out most of my position around $42. So still a good move, still a good trade. And then I ended up breaking even on the rest of my shares. So a little bummed that I didn't get this profit right here, but I still stuck with my plan. I think, now that I remember, I had the order at 43.02. So it was just above the whole dollar mark, which I don't like to do. I usually try to lower it. And I think I just forgot to do that. And so I never ended up selling at the $43. Anytime I have an order right at 43.02 or right above like a whole dollar or a half dollar, I just lower it a few cents. I'm gonna lower my reward, but I'm also increasing the probability that I'll actually sell. This is a good example of that. That was my overlook. And then but still, and then those shares, once I saw that it was turning around, I kind of put it at right below $42, just to make sure I at least sell out at that first profit target with those shares. And then the remaining shares that I had ended up breaking even. So it was a good trade. It wasn't clean in terms of how I executed my orders, but I was still pleased with following my rules. And after not selling these shares, I really was quick to get out just to kind of make that profit, and not just hold it in hopes that it would return. So that was a good trade discipline on my end. If you don't count the forgetting to lower my order just a little bit. Then the next trade that I took, this one was a break-even trade. That's the one. So pretty sure it was this one. Yeah, I think this is the one. And now it's trading above where I would have sold and made profits, but I still followed my plan. I followed my instincts. So here was the trade. Now the only negative about this is this red candle is kind of a big one. It's kind of engulfing these candles right here. These levels kind of did hold, so that's why I still entered the trade. So this was my entry right here. The other reason why I felt comfortable to enter is because the move from the low here to the high of over here was the pullback from the high was less than 50% of this entire move. So even though we had this big candle, it was still within my criteria of entering a trade. So I felt okay to enter it, and we did get some move to the upside, but I noticed on the level 2 over here, we just really had a hard time breaking through the $16 mark. And even when we did break through barely by a few cents, there wasn't that many buyers coming in to buy up the shares. So normally I would keep my stop loss at the original level, which would have been down here. But I felt really uncomfortable holding the stock, watching the price action. So I pretty much was raising my stop loss with the EMA, and then I pretty much ended up raising it all the way to break even, which was what actually I was using I think the 5-minute chart was a similar chart. Yeah, it's a similar chart here. So this is the entry point, and I ended up selling right about here, and which ended up working out nicely because you can see we went way below, not way below, but below my original stop loss. So I would have ended up stopping out anyway. And even though that we're trading higher than all these levels, I would have been a loss. So I'm pleased with following my instincts. Sometimes I question myself. I tell myself, I really feel like I should raise my stop loss, but I don't. So I'm working on just kind of going with my instincts, because the worst that'll happen is I sell for a really small loss, or I sell at break even. The trade ends up going positive, but I don't end up losing. So I might lose the potential, but at least with my experience, when stocks slow down, we're making a lower high here. I really felt comfortable raising my stop loss, something I don't normally do and I don't usually like to do, but I really felt that it was necessary, and I followed that instinct. And the last trade I took, which I am currently still in right now, is FCEL, and I'm just kind of taking a look at where my stop loss levels are right now. So I entered the trade. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out which chart I used. So the entry was right above $23, which is right around here. Let's look at the 5-minute. So I think that's right. It's the 5-minute chart. Okay. So I noticed that the price was right about here. And, if I had been watching it, I would have entered this trade either way. So I put a limit order at the exact price I would be okay with. If the price kept going higher, I would not have chased, but it did get triggered, and I put a stop loss right below this level. And I've taken 2 profit targets since I entered the trade. I've been raising my stop loss with the EMA. And since I took 2 profit targets, the next thing I do is I put a trailing stop loss at the 1 profit, at 1 risk level, and at 2 risk levels. So here we're getting a pullback right here. So my first trailing stop loss got triggered. And so now I am in with my final remaining shares. So I'm just going to kind of leave it and see what happens. I think the current stop out is going to be around right about $23, which is my break even level. But if the stock goes all the way to break even, the profits that I'm giving away is very minimal compared to the profits I've already taken on the trade. So I'm okay with giving away that profit to see what potential profits I could possibly make. Usually when I end up taking profits twice, that's a good indicator that the stock has good momentum. So we have potential for a much larger move than just 2 profit targets. And if it doesn't work out, then so be it. I've already taken profits 3 times right now. The first profit target was at around 23.50s. The next profit target was around $24. And then my third profit taking was about 50 cents below the high, so around 23.70s. And then so that I basically have taken profits 3 times in these levels. And then my fourth profit taking will be two risk levels below the high, which is going to be about $1 below the high, since I was risking 50 cents here. And so, like I mentioned, just above $23 will be my last profit taking if we're unable to make new highs. So if I don't get taken out at my stop loss here and the highs are broken, then my stop loss will raise. It will trail the high of the stock. So hopefully this is just a small pullback, and then we can see a larger move. So that is it for today. I'm very pleased with my trading execution. I'm working on improving my trade discipline, and so far I've challenged myself that if I can take 10 perfect trades in a row, perfect not meaning profitable, perfect meaning following my plan exactly how I have it written out. If I can take 10 trades in a row following my plan, then I will allow myself to increase my risk. So my last challenge, I went up to 4. And then on my 5th trade, I did not follow my rules, so I had to restart the challenge. So now I'm back up to 4. So I've reached the previous high of trades in a row. So I need to at least take one more trade following my plan to improve my results. But I still need to get to 10 before I increase my risk. And so far it's doing good. And even if you look back in the last, 9 trades, I only took 1 trade that did not follow my plan. So, that's about 8 out of 9, 88%. So it's pretty good. We'd like to be in the 90% range. Obviously 100% would be great, but I think we also have to remember that, we're human. It's hard to be perfect. Even though we want to be as close to perfect as we can, I think it's okay to make minor mistakes, nothing too big. Even when I did make the mistake and entered a trade that was not part of my plan, I immediately got out of it, and I took the smallest loss I could possibly have taken in that trade without just making a break-even trade. So even that mistake had very, very little effect on my account size. So, but I did have to restart my challenge. We're back up to 4 in a row, so I just have to do 6 more in a row, and then I'm going to increase my risk. So as you can see on FCEL, the pullback kind of held here, and we're now starting to break above this level. I think if I'm already past the time that I'd like to enter trades, so I think if we maybe were an hour earlier, I might re-enter this trade. It's looking nice, but we're getting close to that lunchtime hour in the East Coast. So about almost 9 a.m. in the West Coast. So I try not to enter trades in this time. Actually, I don't enter trades at this time. So, all right, well, that'll be it. So if you're curious, just I'm going to be watching FCEL. If it breaks below 2320s, 2310, I'll probably end up getting stopped out. If we are able to break above 2420s, that stop loss level will be raised with the order I put in. So that is what I'll be looking for. I'm not entering the trade. I'm already pretty much out of the trade. I'm just holding to see how much higher it can go. But I'm not adding to my size. All right. Well, that'll be it. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.